Yeah.
Hello, 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 hello. This melody. This.
Okay, so we're like,
It's not
Hello,
needed.
hello, hello,
It's
hello.
not needed.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, 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 hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
is this your hello today? Or what's going on
Yes,
there?
so we're doing hello today.
It's looking like a
Hello.
hello show.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, guys, or good morning. No, we're not. We have people joining
We're
us.
non-nationary.
Correct,
so-
you're correct.
So it seems like you guys have not been
No, we're not
indoctrinated.
nationary.
You guys are still hoping. Okay, good
Hello,
afternoon, good evening.
everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Woo! Hope you're feeling fine. Hello, everybody.
Feeling.
Nah,
Hope you're feeling
Feeling.
fine.
what kind of school did you go to? You didn't finish the lesson.
Why did you jump? Hi, Tayo.
Hello, guys.
My school is not complete. I
Yeah.
just have to confess.
You must have gone to Labule one of
I
them.
remaining was
Labule.
under the apple tree, and I have no apologies for it. They tried. My friends tried.
Welcome, everybody, to
Hello.
Real Deep Convo.
Yay.
We're back in studio.
Yes. After how many weeks?
Wait, but last week was cool though.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool, you know.
Mm.
I didn't have to see his face physically, so
You must have missed that face.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
You missed that face,
that
not this
face, not this face.
When you're talking about it, you struggle to live without me.
That
Oh my goodness gracious me.
You know, every time I sit with you, beside you on the
It's
show,
an honor,
you
right?
just go
It's an
home.
honor for
You just
you.
go
She doesn't wash her
you
clothes
to
anymore.
chronicle it and say, "Oh wow, I sat
by
Straight." Oh wow.
Shakosha the Great.
All right, guys, we played too much on this show,
But it's good. That's one of my values: fun and play. Well, two of my values.
So, any interesting thing anybody wants to share? Be careful.
Ah.
Any interesting thing anybody wants to
You better
share?
don't ask her. It's because there's something in her
Don't
mind.
take us off
Uh-huh.
course.
Okay.
There is
Uh,
something on my mind,
But
guys,
not
but they're
today.
stopping me from
Not
saying
You
it.
can't
so
share it today.
We'll talk about it
If you
next.
do it, we bounce you from this show.
I'm telling you,
Or replace
off,
you with Bobby.
off the show.
I'm not sure how much English you guys are going to speak on the
Anything
show.
else?
We've done it to your show.
Anything else? Anything else?
I've been it's been very. I've been attending 50-year-old.
You're not seeing all these
by
videos.
Sunday is going to be.
Rocking
I'm going to be attending the third 50th birthday in 1
right.
week. So it's looking like. It's the year for 50-year-olds.
Yes,
Because I'm seeing a lot of people clocking 50.
Yeah.
And it's just showing me how time flies, and
Yeah.
Before
you know it, you too.
We'll be 50.
well, by God's grace, so the fact that I could go out because for some of them they had 2 events and I was able to make it 2 events, and that's something I would normally not do.
Wow.
It's either I would just find a way to say work, and of course there was a lot on my table, but I took time out and began to realize the value of being
Social.
there.
Yeah.
A critical moment to say there is no work that can stand in place of people.
Yeah.
So you need to just be there. So
Yeah.
now I'm learning to go for events that naturally I would have avoided or made excuses for.
Yeah.
They would have
Like
understood.
Like me.
They would have understood, but I'm learning not to do that anymore. So it's been, and I've been having this knee pain. So while I was dancing at the other party,
Hi,
I
Mary.
just felt it.
It will.
But I eventually saw my doctor, and then they gave me some.
Age is creeping up on you.
Well, it's got to.
Age, nothing but a
I've been standing
number.
for 19 years facilitating sessions and also, but I'm grateful for the knee. This knee has,
served you.
Served me, obviously. So,
And we still do more service.
I mean, they will.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because I mean, we've not started.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so it's been interesting. Then I intentionally blanked myself from Nigerian news.
Oh wow!
This
Are you breathing?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Wow!
Because, I mean,
I'm shocked.
It just seems that when you think that you can go further down, they make a new release. So you listen to the Minister for Information, talks about Twitter and warning Nigerians not to use VPN because VPN can be used to hack into your bank account, and you wonder how do people get appointed into the office. Then
it's not by
of
sense.
course the picture that made my day, even though it was a meme, it wasn't very very serious. Was the team from Nigeria going to meet with the team from Twitter?
No,
you didn't say.
No.
I mean, our team, the youngest in our team was about someone close to 60 years old. Meanwhile, the Twitter team are 20 something years.
17 and 18.
17 and 18 years old. It was quite funny and it made me, laugh. But again, it's the only country we have at the end of the day. But what I just made up my mind to do was to say to myself that I will no longer bother myself about what I have no direct control over. So I have a 4-way test. Is a heading in the direction I want to go? Will it make me money?
I like that.
Will it bless people?
Yeah.
And can it pass the test of legacy? So that was how I began. I created my 4-way test to measure every information coming.
Yeah.
So if it's not going to make me money, there's no point.
Yeah.
So and by doing that, I began to share some elements of stuff with my people, about the human spirit. I think we've mentioned it on this show, but I just took it to another level, that the human spirit does not die, right? So if your spirit does not die, and at the point of death, your spirit here is able to live at a mediocre level. Hereafter, if there is, you will not be handed over anything superior. You will still be a mediocre. So if all you could do was ushering here, nobody's going to hand over an entire conglomerate to you. You will still be an usher.
That's what you assume.
Because your spirit cannot go to school afterwards. It cannot read books.
It
cannot.
It's bigger and more than who you are.
No, but
your physical capacity.
Here is a preparation for hereafter, isn't it? You're going to be asked, well done. I mean, if you can, your spirit cannot handle a business here. How are you going to be given a business there to handle? So I began to share that with my team, and it just began to make me think differently. To say, the power you have is to self-develop yourself, and you can actually develop yourself to the highest level. That it's your responsibility, and it also made me to start to question religion again, to say that who would we have been if our parents didn't impose the religion on us at the point at which we were born. You guys,
so they're very
no. She was asking how did our week go. So
yeah, but like
because
this is
I'm going to touch.
So no, you can't touch. You can't touch. You can't even finger that. So it just
that's Ojoro.
Yes, because you are being banned.
No.
You are not going to say anything. So it just brought home for me. What we could have been. Eventually I made them see the most beautiful, the most expensive cities in the world, top 10 for 2021. To say that why are we not daring to buy houses here? Why are we not daring to own this kind of cities? And it was quite liberating, to know that when you choose to focus on the things that you can control and you eliminate the things that you have no control over, you live a better life. You live a more peaceful life. And
for sure.
So
yeah, I mean, for me, I don't watch the news. Like I hear things maybe like 10 days after.
But you create the news for us.
Well, that's
is your station that
yes, but I mean, I'm so far removed from it that it's unbelievable. Like when they ask me to do certain things and they say, don't you know what happened? I'm like, no, sir, I don't know. How can you be doing this kind of show? And I'm very careful of what I put into my system, and because I also know that what you fight increases, and that's why Boko Haram has increased, LGBT has increased, all the things that were fought against has exploded. So I don't want to be one of those people talking. I don't talk about the government. I don't talk about anybody. And when people complain, I'm like, what are you doing to change the nation? What are you doing?
Well,
and it's like, no, but the government.
well, you mentioned LGBT now. You say what they did with Usain Bolt. Did you read that?
No.
You know,
See,
so
I see once again.
Usain Bolt's wife gave birth to a set of twins,
Okay.
twin boys, and so CNN broadcast the news
Mhm.
to say, "Oh, he's welcome to twin boys," and one maybe it's LGBT now. Well, someone from their community went in there to say, I mean,
How do
that
you know?
you are disappointed in that he was disappointed in CNN for endorsing stereotyping that gender should not be determined at
By
birth.
sex, right?
At birth, they should allow the children grow to determine.
And choose whatever. Yeah.
I mean, at this point,
Once again, those are the things that like. So I don't have conversations around religion.
We are not nationally anyway.
Nationally, I don't. You know, so for me, I don't care.
let
you
me
know.
go remove
I'll stay in my
myself
bubble.
now.
Yeah, so I stay in my bubble.
No, but
and
you
I'm
guys
happy
do it
there.
a whole lot, you know.
Who does it?
I mean, media people
Oh, okay.
and movie makers. They hardly watch their movies. You know, they ask Madonna. They asked the children. You know that they must be proud of their mom. You know, she went to one award, and they said we don't watch TV. And they asked Madonna why. He said because the TV is too toxic.
Yes, it's the
Yeah.
truth.
And Snoop also did the
It's
same thing.
enough.
Snoop's son will always go with him for many of his shoots, you know. So there was a particular one, his son didn't go with him. So they asked him, why is your son not going this time around? He said, because we're shooting adult stuff.
Yeah.
So they asked him, they said, but the consumers of this adult stuff you are shooting,
Mm.
are your
Children will watch it.
you know what he said? He said, well, I have responsibility for my own child.
Yes,
Their
see,
parents
you
should
Their
take
parents should take
Absolutely.
responsibility for theirs.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So I mean, for me, all those things, I'm not moved by what's happening around. I'm
not
sorry
moved by what
for
I
things that are
see.
happening, but that's where it ends.
You'll be moved by the things you've seen.
Yeah.
You have not seen things that will move you.
So yeah.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I'm happy that you
All
have,
right.
you have PF has joined.
All
that
right, all
bandwagon.
right. Let's move on. Let's
Yes.
move on to today's show.
Yes.
So today is episode 3 of our new series, new series.
Mhm.
Heart to heart conversations before wedding bells, and we're talking about leaving the baggage behind. We've talked about identity. We've talked about patterns. Right? We talked about identifying patterns.
Flexibility.
Being flexible. Last week we talked about how our environment shapes us. And so nature and nurture, how that shapes us and makes us who we are. And so today we're taking it to, moving along into the series is about leaving the baggage behind and what that means. If you read the write-up earlier, we're talking about it was saying, look, people go into relationships these days, but not even these days. Many people go into new relationships carrying old baggage, and of course, those things play up or those things play out and cause newer problems or bigger problems. And it's not just the one party, probably the second party. So both people are coming from old relationships or from old relationships, right? From past relationships, and they're bringing in their baggage, not healing before getting into those relationships. And so now they're transferring their aggressions, transferring their hurts, transferring all the things that they had that dealt with.
Is suffering for their ex.
Exactly. Your next is suffering from your ex, So that's what we're talking about today. And I think it's going to be a really good conversation.
I think so too.
So let's get into it. Here.
Why are you calling me?
Yeah, master baggage.
We've said this phrase a few times on this show, and it's one that none of you are new to, which is that hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
And let's just break that down. Hurt people, hurt people,
Hurt people.
hurt people.
Then hurt people.
That's basic.
Cycle and circle.
I was speaking somewhere yesterday, and I said to them that if you squeeze me, praise, Mukaila will not come out. Like Mukaila comes out,
Then it's Mukaila
it's Mukaila that
exercise.
So I mean, if there's no hurt in you, it becomes very tough to hurt other people. So you realize that many people, in fact, we say another thing that evil is done. I mean, good people sometimes do evil with good intention. So it's not as if they plan to hurt people. You know, so I've seen a whole lot of people that genuinely want to help. At the end of the day, they hurt people.
So Oshore Daro.
Kind of. You know, so you want to check yourself to say there are many pain points that many people have not. Because again, pain is like normalized in this part of the world.
Yeah.
That you don't even see it as pain. You know, we just finished the new rules of parenting class, and quite a number of people who actually had pain that they've not been inflicting the pain on their children without knowing, thinking they were they were trying to discipline their children
or helping them,
found out that they were traumatized kids who are not traumatizing their children without knowing. You know, so you realize that many of us, one of the things that you are used to as an African is trauma. But it's normalized because it comes like discipline. You know, so eventually you find yourself, and sometimes when we hurt, we do not have outlets where we can get help. We don't even see the need for help.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I see situations where they say someone is preaching or teaching and he says, oh, if you are battling with unforgiveness, come forward. Okay, and pray.
I think it's easy.
And say, go and call the person.
That's right.
What are you trying to do? You
They
know,
don't know better.
so they don't know better. So you realize that people, I mean, if you are someone who is used to working with people to heal, because I mean, that's my life almost every day, you realize that it could be even draining for you as a therapist who is working on them.
Absolutely.
It's almost as if you are, if
you
you're not,
are taking
like
on
when Jesus says,
yeah,
power
virtue left me. Because
It's
you are
exactly
taking
like
on, and if you're not even careful,
you carry it on.
because your mind cannot differentiate between what is real and what is
And what
simulated.
is- yes.
Your mind can be hearing a story,
Yeah.
someone else's story, but your mind is internalizing it as your story.
your
And
own
most
story.
times we
Yeah.
hear our stories in what people are
Do you
saying. We're not
understand?
hearing their story.
So-
we're hearing ourselves, we're seeing ourselves in that
If you are not
story.
careful, you could start hurting yourself.
Yeah.
So it's important. That's why we always say that in therapy, when you finish with a client, you need to give 30 minutes breather for yourself to exhale, you know, and pour out that which you have taken in before you take on the next client.
Yeah.
You know, so but the fundamental is, if you are hurting, you are most likely going to hurt someone else. So and you realize the question is, who is not hurting
That's
at the
it.
point of making a choice or getting into marriage?
That's it.
You know, so it's that your father has hurt you, you have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So there are so many ladies who
So many layers of hurt.
Yes.
and there's so many people who have been jilted by their ex. They didn't confront it, they just filed it away.
I'm one of them.
You know, so they just assume that, well, we have moved on.
Yeah.
So that's what you hear people. We console ourselves that, well, I've moved on.
Yeah.
But you have not moved on
You haven't.
until you confront. So by the time you bring out the person's name, you still see the pain, the hurt, the body
You
language.
feel it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what you now bring into marriage. So you bring the pain points of your father. So let's say your father cheated on your mom, you begin to expect your husband to
To do
cheat
the same-
because
the same
you
thing.
now live with a stereotype that all men
Men cheat.
and
Yeah.
things like this.
Yeah.
That's why it's always good to analyze yourself, get someone to work with you so that you will know the pain points. Some of
And
them are
triggers.
unconscious,
And triggers.
some
as
of them
well.
are conscious. The unconscious ones are more lethal.
Yeah.
So you need to find them out and get healing before you start in a relationship. And baggages is not even just pain, beliefs, ideology,
Yes.
things that people bring
Yeah.
into marriage
Yeah.
and can sabotage
Nature and nurture.
their marriage. I mean, beliefs that you are wondering, where did we get these beliefs from? You know, people bring it in, and before you know it, it begins to create problems, you know, for them. That's why it's premarital now becomes, you know, something very critical for everyone who want to get married.
Marriage is the only place you come to that you collect certificate before you enter.
And well,
It's only marriage.
that's what it is.
The other school that you go to, you collect certificate after your pass. Marriage is the only one on the first day. Take certificate and you be carrying it up and down. There has to be stuff that you do to be able to for that certificate.
And
to
but then that's
mean
why they
something.
will now say that you are violating
You know?
people's fundamental human right. Again, because people also can abuse it. You know, so if I don't like her, no matter how much he has mastered the thing, I still won't allow her marry. I was just revealing that. Imagine if those are our lecturers
If you're interested in
on
her,
campus.
you mean.
Yeah.
See, guys, let's not say
Imagine those our lecturers on Nigerian campuses were the ones to certify you. Those people those principalities will tell you A is for God, B is for serious student, Z is for me, and then Do you understand?
How, okay, so when somebody leaves a relationship, right? Is there a time frame between leaving a past relationship and getting into a new one? Is there like a time frame to give yourself to say, I need to unplug from this relationship before getting into a new relationship? Like what are the steps to what's that word now? Like detox, or to just
I think the first thing is to, first of all, what kind of relationship was it? Because sometimes the relationship, some people had to end the relationship for maybe religious reasons. So it's not like they had a bad relationship, or my father. So of course that pain is there for sure. However, the relationship was actually a good relationship. Just principalities and powers have come in that have stopped them. So for that one, of course, the pain is now the fact that they couldn't take it any step further. It's different from if the relationship was they were beating themselves and
it was a toxic
one. So it was a toxic relationship. That's now a different kind of relationship to look at. I use one of the examples of a relationship that I had. I'll say like my first real boyfriend. We dated for 7 years, and I moved to London, and he was, a bit skeptical. I said, I'm going to come back. And eventually, when I decided to come back, it was when I came back, he then said, he's not interested in till tomorrow, I don't know why that relationship ended. And I felt like I was, I'll get over it. But I took it into every other thing that happened to me. At a point, I knew I was damaged, and I said to somebody who came to me at the time, I said, look, I'm damaged. And he said, use me to get over it. And I'm like, why are you Jesus? But I'm also grateful to him because he was such a good, it was a breath of fresh air for me, So those are the different things that could happen, and you carry those.
Let me add
things.
to what you've said. There are so many schools of thought that would say to you. I remember when I was growing up, what the standard practice is when you break out of a relationship, wait for 6 months at least. But you can wait for 6 months and do nothing and still get in the wrong relationship.
8 years.
Yeah.
He's still in love with his ex.
You see, the way this love thing works, what I've realized is that love is still a mystery, even though you can try to figure it out.
Do you fall out of love?
You don't know at what point love can
hit you
and sure. Right? And if you miss it at that point, you join the queue again and be, so I'm not someone to say to people, wait 1 month, wait 2 months. I have seen people waited 6 months, they still got into a wrong relationship. I have seen people who waited 5 days and got into the right relationship.
Is that not because things shifted for them?
It could
or
be.
Things changed for them?
So the state of your mind
is what attracts
now
the
becomes
person
the
that you
most.
bring.
Just be sure that the next thing you're entering is not a rebound relationship.
Yeah.
Because again, there are people. I was talking to a lady who has done, I think she's done like 10 relationships in 12 years. Now, dated 12 guys.
That's not that much.
In 12 years. Now, what that said to me was that this is a lady who is afraid of herself, her own company. So she's always had to have some
people don't want
someone like that.
Yeah.
So I have to say, but when I said to her, you may not need a relation with the next 2 years.
She's like, what?
I was going
to kill her. To kill me.
You understand? So I now had to confront her that, you know what? I think you are struggling with being in your own company and loving yourself.
Yeah.
Which was eventually what we did for her. So it's not. It depends on the state of your mind, how the relationship ended. Now, if you're hurting, for example, if you are hurting and you come to me, you don't need 1 week to overcome your hurt. Or if I can do it in like 1 hour. Do you understand? Help you scramble. Healing is basically scrambling your thoughts and changing the meaning. That's what it is, right? I can help you achieve that. The problem is, do people find the right person to work with them, or do they even ever work?
Do they even know? First of all, do they even know where to go? To find
so
help?
those
do
are
they even know what kind of help to seek?
So those are the issues, because sometimes some people leave a relationship and that relationship was actually a school for them. That they graduate from,
that's
and it prepares them to make more, which is what human beings should do.
Yeah.
If you have made a mistake, you should be more intelligent But you realize that people repeat their mistakes because they have not mastered the lesson.
And and because they also don't know that that person came into their lives as teachers.
Yeah.
So how would if I don't know you're my teacher, why am I going to be listening to the things that I need to use for the next one?
And also because oftentimes when things don't work, we don't analyze ourselves to see the role we play.
No, it's never our fault.
We look at the other person.
Yeah.
He was a bad guy.
you?
That guy is a 1 minute man.
It's never our fault.
So
Never
I sit with people and they say, my ex was a fool.
He's an
He's an idiot. And I said to her,
bastard.
for you to have dated an idiot, there must have
doesn't
been
say something
elements
about
of
you.
Idiosyncrasy.
How did you attract an idiot?
You understand?
Start from there.
In fact, one of my mentors would say to us that if it takes you more than 5 minutes to spot a fool, you are a fool yourself.
Oh.
So you cannot exonerate yourself that you now got for you to discover that he was a fool. Then something is wrong with you. So for people like that, you find them repeating their mistakes. In fact,
and over.
I have worked with a woman who was in a third marriage when I started working with her, and she said to me, "Praise, my first husband was actually better than the second, and the second was better than the third."
So she was depreciating.
So I had to ask her, "What is it about you that you are repeating the same class?"
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about life is that life is not in a hurry.
Yeah.
You can repeat the same class for 20 years. Life is not even aware that you are 50, you are 60. It's patient with you.
Is there,
right? But for you to change that pattern, you need to pick the lessons and take responsibilities, right? So when I see people, fall out of relationship and they say, it was the cause. No, what did you do in the entire relationship, marriage? You always have to be at cause, not at effect.
Yeah.
Many people are at effect.
Yeah.
They blame the person, blame their father. No, take responsibility.
Yeah.
Because between stimulus and response, there's always a space.
Yeah.
In that space lies your liberation. But we never activate that. So we blame someone is one responsible for my misfortune. So when people take responsibilities for their lives, immediately the relationship breaks. Right, they take their power back and they are empowered, almost ready for the next relationship because then they have now mastered how not to choose the next fool, right, and who to avoid, and they have also mastered what not to give away when the relationship has all been tested. Because those are the real issues. I mean, when people talk about heartbreak is the thing that they have invested that they should have given. That is now responsible for the heartbreak. Because when you have not bought the guy a car or whatever, bought him a house or sex and blah blah blah, why do you talk about heartbreak? Kind of, it's just like we have chopped ourselves.
After all I've done for
sometimes
him.
They now say the guy chopped me.
Yes.
No, the guy did not chop you.
You released yourself.
You actually chopped yourself.
You released yourself to be chopped.
Two people chopped themselves.
And you are enjoying.
So you cannot say the guy chopped me and he now wants to dump me. No, because what he brought was a proposal. You could have said no, right? And you could have said no. I mean, based on my values. So if there was no rape involved, then it was a case of chop me,
I chop you.
Kind of.
God,
so you cannot now say it broke my heart, and let's even assume it was a heartbreak. What lessons have you learned? Which is what we do in therapy. When someone says, even in rape cases, we always ask them to go back and say, if there are 5 lessons, positive lessons that life will make you learn, what will they be? And that's where the liberation lies. They will now see the positive sides to things. Because the lady actually told me she was raped. She said, when I got to that point, she said, Praise, I didn't know I was bold until I began to struggle with them and I fought them to it. He said, even though they had their way, he said, but my life was not the same after that because the bold me now I used to be timid. Now she didn't process that until I began to work with her. So for every negative experience we have gone through, there's always a corresponding positive side to it that we never see. If we keep
our focus is on the negative or the pain.
Wow.
Yeah. It's baggage.
A lot to process. A lot to process. And it's you're very right when you say we don't like to take responsibility for the role that we play in us getting hurt. People don't want to hear, oh, how can you say, it was your fault? It's not about saying it's your fault. It's about saying, okay, really honestly and truly analyzing yourself, analyzing your part, analyzing what you contributed to to get into that.
Yeah, you're always in fact,
you are the creator.
I was working with a lady who was a firstborn, and she's lost about 5 relationships, and by the time and being a firstborn in Africa, I knew exactly what was wrong without even, because as a firstborn child, she's learning to take responsibility. So in the relationship, she will usually take responsibility. So the guy doesn't have a job, she will fight with her nail to give him to do for a job, and if he doesn't get a job, she'll be sorting, giving pocket money, and blah blah blah. But what the guy is reading is she's desperate. She's this because the husband in the relationship. So she was now like, "Prince, are you saying I shouldn't do good?" I said, "No,
that's not good,
because that's not good, right?
You think it's good.
It's like you are buying his loyalty, right?" I said, in fact, one of the best courses I took in my life in my early days of practice was the course called detachment. Detachment says sometimes you need to watch the people you love suffer without making a conscious effort to bail them out.
To do anything. Yeah.
Very tough, but I learned critical lessons from that course.
Yeah. Please say that again, because I feel like say that again.
Yes.
That sometimes you need to watch the people you love suffer.
Yes.
Without making a conscious effort to bail them out.
Yes.
Because when you bail them, once you bail them out, they're not going to learn.
They're not going to learn nothing.
They're not going to learn.
And you're going to keep doing it.
Yes.
You're never going to stop.
So that was what that lady was doing. She will bail them out, So she will now say they left me. No, there is something you are doing. You are. In fact, there was a woman who I was working with as well, and she didn't get everything I was saying until I said to her, "Your husband is an addict." Said, "No, he's not an addict." I said, "No, but his addiction is that he's smoking money, but you are the one funding the smoke,
pumping the smoke."
That was when she understood it, because this guy is never nice to her until he has a need. So he comes, this woman goes to, she was head of one financial. She goes to get a loan, 20 million. He comes with it and she gives the guy. The guy disappears. Begins to treat her badly. So she was like, "Praise, are you saying I should not?" I said, "Madam." By the time she now got it. To say, "Oh, wow." But guess what? When she eventually took a decision to say, "I'm going to move out," to show him a lesson, his family supported her.
Because they can see.
His family said, "Our brother has always been irresponsible.
He's a useless roundabout."
So he has always been irresponsible.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So sometimes people need to understand that you're meeting a guy you want. Rule of thumb for me is whatever I can't do for every other person, I won't do it for you. Do you understand? Because if I can do it for every other person, then I'm not expecting a thank you. Neither am I expecting you to pay me back for whatever. Because what people do is, I'm dating the other. So I say I love her.
Are you?
And I buy a car. Because my calculation is when I get married, the car comes back to me.
Yes, now. She's
right.
Her and the car are mine.
Yes. So when my permutation no longer or breaks down, and she now goes away with the car,
you have lost.
I now feel, she jilted me or blah 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 blah. So it's always important for people to look within, because if you keep attracting the wrong people, you need to check yourself. What is this magnet in me that is attracting drawing the wrong people, and that's making me get into the wrong relationship? It could be that your knowledge is inadequate.
Yeah.
It could be your belief systems. It could even be something in your unconscious mind.
Yeah.
Right? Like we always say in the Yoruba that root abokoku. Some people are like that. The story of root is what is playing in their mind as their life. That's so every guy, I will be there for him. He'll move to his house. He'll wash his clothes.
And the guy really is seeing something that, one thing I actually even learned. So I was listening to some guy and he said, look, men want to be the ones to give, right? Now, because of course, every human being, every human being has a male and female counterpart, right? So now, of course, the female side of women was higher than when they were all at home and everything. Now they're going out. The testosterone is building in women. So women think that for them to keep their man, they need to give the man. Now, men are normal. I want warriors. They want to go out, conquer, come back and give you and see you appreciate them. So when you are the one giving them, you are teaching them how to be irresponsible. And sometimes they don't like, they rebel against it, but that the woman then thinks that she needs to keep giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. Meanwhile, that's not, the man wants to be able to go out and do certain things, or normal, the masculine side of man wants to go out and do certain things. I mean, it kind of made sense to me from the point of women now think that they need to give of themselves and give of everything. And what then happens is that you end up being so resentful that you have given your essence to this person. And of course, without this is now not taking responsibility, right?
Because I was going to say that.
No.
I was going to
This
say
is now
that.
not taking
I
responsibility.
don't.
I was
I don't
heading
fully
there.
agree.
I was heading there.
Yes.
So this is not taking responsibility and saying, okay, I've done all of this, because we they created the ideal wife. And the ideal wife is the woman who is the nurse, who is the doctor, who is the cleaner, who is everything.
Tradition.
And yes,
that's
so
what
that's
tradition-
yeah, so you come into the marriage or you think, oh, for him to call me the one, I have to do certain things to be called the one. Omo dada, omo gidi, is that she's cleaning for me, she's washing my pints, she's cooking for me. Well, do you understand? So we come into that relationship thinking we need to give all of these things to be called the one.
That really takes me to something I actually wanted to start with in the beginning of this conversation. There's been a lot of videos going on. I've been seeing a lot of videos on social media, and the funny part of it is that it's women actually that's putting out these videos and saying how there was one that I watched yesterday, and this lady was like, oh, a guy would walk past your six-figure making six-figure self and go and meet the mugly girl in McDonald's and date her, because why? She gives him peace. She is his peace, and she know how to treat the man. I've seen another one recently as well. If you want to keep your man, and I was like, the thing that keeps playing in my head is we are. Culture has given us a template.
Culture and religion.
Culture and religion. They've given us a template. And the more we continue to, it's like we're just perpetuating it, right? To say, okay, that as if the onus is on the woman to be the one to create the peace.
I think what is going on is, which is where I differ with a lot of speakers, people don't process things from etymology. And when you don't process things from the root, you're just responding to problems. So people never do root cause analysis. So you have a guy who sees a six-figure woman,
his wife,
and walk past her to go to McDonald's. Now, you cannot say it's because she's not giving him peace. How did you reach that conclusion? Did you run a data? Did you run an assessment?
know why he's going to go and meet someone else?
1,001
When she
things.
told me, I said, is there a body?
1,001 things could be going on there,
wrong. Yeah.
right? That you need to process.
Yeah.
You need to check.
Yeah.
Go and do a survey.
Yeah.
But again, because we are very lazy with research, right? And that's why many of the things we teach cannot cross the boundaries of Nigeria.
Like this.
If you
submission.
teach it in Australia, people walk out on you because they don't understand what you're talking about,
Yeah.
right? But it's okay for our audience
It's okay for Nigeria.
because
it's
our
okay
people
for
don't
here.
That's
also
what we
know
like to
better.
hear.
Because I would want to know that, okay,
Just like the message, that woman's message, you can't preach that one outside
Yeah,
of Nigeria.
That's
I-
about submission.
Yeah.
I would
it's
want
not
to
Nigeria.
know. So why did this guy walk past me to go to that girl?
Or leave me.
Leave me for that.
Leave me.
Yeah.
There could be there are fundamentals in there. If you gravitate towards your kind,
Yes.
maybe the guy's level
Yes.
is actually
is that
that
is
girl.
that girl? Exactly.
girl.
And
I
this
have
was too
promoted
much.
him
Yes. And
above
he's
he's supposed to be my mentee, but I've made him a husband.
A husband.
That could be a possibility.
Yeah.
So it's not because he can't manage my greatness.
Of course. He
So
doesn't
it's
even
now-
know what it is.
It's
Yeah,
now
like, yes,
He's now going in the
completely.
direction of his real
He's
kind,
real
Kind.
person.
which is not a problem.
Yeah.
That is a possibility.
Yes. Absolutely.
What they're also saying could be a possibility, but you
Yeah.
can't just, lump
Assume
everything
together.
together. No. Can we look at root cause analysis to say what's going on here, right? Or could it even be that at the point of making a marital choice, this guy made a wrong choice based on what was on his head?
Yes.
And you see, why I like the Oyinbos is, if that happens, they're going to have a honest conversation. Is she what you want?
No,
Go for what you
her.
want.
Yeah,
they're not going to do a yard assassin. They're going to kill you. You left me. But we would want, we are, scripted to say, so get into war room. Do this one.
Oh, that's another one I've seen. That enter your war room and cover yourself with a shawl and pray.
And because we love the activity of prayer, we always want to show that, God is what it takes to hold our home. God, there are so many homes that they are not born again. They are doing so well by being honest with ourselves. Because growth and development is part of humanity. When you embrace growth and development, you will grow to because think about it this way. I always say that the two most perfect seasons in everyone's life is childhood and when you are truly in love. Because at the level of what children, nobody talks about superiority. Nobody talks about
I'm too
children don't even know you are male, you are female. They don't know. Children are just playing with them. It's when they now begin to observe and say, okay, he has me, I have children just want to play. Now, when two people are also in love, they don't talk about superiority, inferiority. This is your role. I am the one doing the good. They don't talk about. They are a team. Do you understand? So all these, I'm superior to you. I am inferior to me. You talk to me in one way. You talk to me now. I don't get it, because we just want women to be, and it sounds right. And my mentor always said to me that it can sound right and be so wrong. Right, but because again, people are not, their worldview is very narrow. They enjoy it. It's eye sounding. It's rhyming.
And don't forget, it's coming from their pastor.
And it's coming from their pastor.
So people accept it. And it's not a problem with that. But majority of the people are accepting it. They can't even live by that standard, right? And so I always say to people that I love data. It has never failed me. That I always want to find out what is the root cause of this behavior. There could be a major root cause. For example, if you have men who have always molested younger girls, right? Even if they marry, right? The fact that their wife is like a hooker, they will still be sleeping with ourselves. They'll be attracted to ourselves because that's where they are.
That's where they really are.
Now, so what you should be doing is, how do we help this man move from house help to become a proper husband? So now, how does he need to begin to think?
Or the woman should go to someone else who is 6 feet.
Do you understand? So because there's something for him to have married that woman, there's something he's enjoying
from her.
He's enjoying the fact that because the other woman is not even as intelligent as his wife. Right?
But he likes
so
that.
He wants to eat his cake and have it. So what they want is this: they want to marry their mother or the lady in the village. But they want her to be able to speak. You can't eat your cake and by the time let them go and marry that lady, they can't even
marry her
because that lady cannot strike a honest conversation with their colleagues. Cannot show up at management meeting. Cannot show up on TV. It's just going to be doing a KMG. That's what we call them. They also don't want that lady.
But is that not because men like the idea? Maybe, of course, when I say men, I don't mean every man.
Hi, Daniel.
But I think men like the idea of a strong woman, but not in the real sense of it. They really don't. They want a woman who is that whole is So they like the idea. I want a woman who is working, who is a this, who is a that. But when it comes to it, that same woman also comes with certain other values that they cannot really handle.
Maybe we also need to discuss the concept of a strong woman. A strong woman is not a rude woman because, as in, people mix a lot of things up.
But then it's because at the height of it for the man, it's that ego trip.
Everybody has ego. If you are badly behaved, that's not because many of the strong women they show us are actually badly behaved women. Because I don't even need to marry you for you to speak to me with courtesy, with respect, for you to look at me as a human being and accord me that you don't need to be married to me. So some people have that, they are just bad.
So badly behaved.
Rather. So that's what we often call, strong woman is a no-nonsense woman. No. Right? I'm a no-nonsense guy, but I'm gonna respect you So angry women are now being called strong women.
Yeah, angry. That's why they coined
No. Women
angry
who are
black
broken
woman.
are now called angry.
Strong woman.
Broken women are leading feminism movement.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't go
We
agree.
don't want
We don't
them.
agree. All men has come. All men has come. But they are begging for something behind the scene.
From houseboy.
From houseboy. So
my God.
those are not. So when a strong woman is a woman who understands who she is, understands who others are, and is able in her wisdom to relate effectively with them without trampling on their humanity and without subjecting our own humanity to their madness. Something
Now,
like
so if you look at that example you just gave, or that breakdown, or who a strong woman is in Nigeria,
Yeah.
or at least in Africa, where they say a woman is not meant to be seen or not meant to be heard, right?
meant to be seen.
Both of them, right? So now, in that kind of situation, a strong woman is somebody who doesn't trample on other people's humanity and doesn't allow other people's humanity, other people trample on her humanity. That in some way can be seen here in a different way as an arrogant person, especially from a place of where a woman should not be saying no, or speaking to her man, or telling her man she doesn't want to do certain things,
Yeah.
because they don't understand that there's something called boundaries.
Let me shock you. Many people you can go and do this research. Many people teaching these things. Ask them to differentiate between a woman and a wife. They don't know. They've never studied it.
Yeah.
Because the dynamics are totally different.
Yeah.
So they mix everything up together. A woman should not be. A woman should be arrogant. Actually, when you now want to be a wife, wife now means you have accepted
Headship.
to take on, to allow someone else lead you, which is why we always say, rule of thumb: never accept the proposal of someone whose leadership you are not willing to submit to for the rest of your life. Do you understand? However, the person must also understand leadership. If he understands leadership, he will know that leadership is not Jehovah Almighty.
Yeah.
Leadership is not you are the most intelligent, you are the smartest. Leadership simply means create the environment where everyone's potential can find expression. Right? And so if your wife is better in a particular area, allow her to take the lead. That's what this leadership is all about. It's just a position of responsibility. It has nothing to do with what many people are talking about. Because people just say, you stay under a husband. We don't understand womanhood and being a wife.
Being a wife.
In fact, one of the first things I do is to break it down and show them the job description. Maybe when people begin to see the job description of the wife and the husband, some people will not even marry.
So what's the job description of the wife?
So the concept of wife is Isa. That's the etymology, the origin of that word. Isa means the kind of help that only God could have supplied. If you check Isa in Greek, is the word parakletos. So here is, yes, which is the same word used for the Holy Spirit. So herein lies the drift that many people have. Isa will usually suggest, doesn't lord it. So if you check the relation of the Holy Spirit with you,
He'll tell you.
He'll tell
it's
you.
Up to you.
It's up to you.
You're so free. You can choose.
You can choose bondage. It's your choice. But now, when you now break yourself, it's not also going to rub it in.
Yeah.
Which is the tender nature of a wife, right? Which is why we say, when he's doing you need. Of course, now for Isa to now find full expression, you now need to be wise and smart, and into the warning of Isa, because she's got the capacity to sniff evil miles away, even when she doesn't know anything about the subject. She says, I want to do this business deal. And you say, well, I think you should check it again. But you're arrogant, you don't know anything, it's my field. Then you go and burn yourself.
Yeah.
Say, but she told me. She didn't even know why she's saying it. But that is the easy nature in her. Do you understand? When you understand that, you will now know that a proper husband actually will listen to,
if he knows the role of a wife.
Yes. Now, by the time he now knows his own job description,
which is
his job description is embedded in the word bridegroom, the groomer of a bride.
Yes.
Which means, if you say you are a husband, for example, you cannot say you are a husband and have inferiority complex. They don't go together. You can't be a husband and have insecurity. Your security must be in the performance of your player. To say is a groomer of a bride. In local parlance, coach and player. Right? So when they say woman should not be seen, it's actually the coach that should not be seen. It's the player that should be seen.
Absolutely, because
Because
they're
the player is
performing.
So the player is going in your name. The hallmark of a great coach is the performance of the player at the highest level. So when we understand that, we will no longer begin to do the tussle of, you must stay at home, I must be richer than you, blah 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 blah. So when people understand these things, in fact, the interesting thing for those people who even quote Bible, the job description of a husband, according to Paul, I think in Ephesians 5, go and check it, is a long list. It covers wardrobe.
Yeah.
Our wardrobe.
It does everything.
It covers pedicure.
Yes.
It covers all
Everything,
these things.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Women's job description, according to it, it's like it's not even before that submit self. It started with submit one to another. Do you understand? Which means the person that has demonstrated superior intelligence, we must submit to.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Men who say, my wife, they submit to their madam at work.
Yes. Well, sometimes grudgingly.
Whether grudgingly.
But they do it.
They do it with humility. They kneel on their feet.
The same, rather.
It's not always unnecessarily loud. I like
You
that.
get it.
Yeah.
So we don't
That's
understand.
really good.
We don't understand these things, and we need people to begin to teach this. To say being a strong husband or being a bridegroom is not bragging yourself or working yourself to death.
To say I must provide.
You know the shocking thing? As a proper bridegroom, you are like the president of a nation, which means your first responsibility is security of life and property within your territory. Based on that, you cannot listen to your family members against your wife.
Of course.
That will mean that you are compromising the territorial integrity of your nation.
Yes.
So people don't understand these things.
Yeah.
And
Your
that
first responsibility
your
is
wife
your
is like your vice president. It's not a figurehead. Right? That you can actually be give a range of power while you are just enjoying. So everybody says, virtuous woman. Where is the husband of that virtuous woman?
Exactly. The guy is sitting at the gate.
The guy is not seen.
Proud of her. And that people,
The guy is secure to have
in
given
his own
her.
place.
Look at
Power.
what that woman has is a conglomerate.
Yeah.
Chains of companies.
Yes.
So
yes.
the men love the virtuous woman.
Yes.
But the
they don't want-
responsibility of producing a virtuous woman,
they don't want.
So these are the areas people are not teaching. Because we teach this male ego thing, every human being has got ego.
Everybody wants respect.
Everybody has it.
Everybody
wants to be respected.
So
Everybody wants to be
I
loved.
try to understand where are these people getting this teaching from? That they are teaching. I don't get it.
Because even me, matter, but so at a point I was like, so if we keep saying the woman, give him his peace, doesn't the woman also deserve to have peace?
How can you give peace
If you don't have, you can't give what you don't have.
There is no, you see, this concept of women are homemakers. There is no woman in history that can make a home a man that's about to wreck.
Yeah.
Can we focus on, can we fix ourselves? Everybody.
Let's start from there.
We are all troubled.
Let's
Can we
start
fix
from
our
there.
because
From
if
there.
I am peaceful, you are peaceful. If, like I said, if they press me, Mukaila will not come out.
I'm telling you.
Do you understand?
Peace plus
Because we keep assuming the woman is not wise enough. That's why she's not building her home.
Ask God for wisdom.
Both of them need wisdom.
Yes.
Both of them need wisdom.
Yeah.
And what is happening that a lot of husbands need to begin to realize is wives are now going for programs developing themselves.
PF.
Men are not showing up and they are not reading.
Because they don't think they need help.
So you are not showing up.
They feel they know.
She's developing herself.
They know
So
it all.
we say in family saying appetite can change in a way that she now outgrows you. And you know there is trouble.
There's
You are supposed to be growing together. When she now and the gap is now, so she's talking. You know, I see how many courses she's taking, for example, taking all kinds of courses, spending money, she's showing up
I'm still taking
everywhere. You know, then she's just talking about new trends in monetary terms, and the person is talking about savings account. You know, so you now say she has no respect. No,
It's not
once you
about
become
respect.
small, even a normal talk will look like disrespect to you because your mind is now
I'm
small.
not expanded.
So people will look at that. And they will now say she's not white. She's not white. She's not white.
What I was even going to say was that, at a point you then get to when people.
I'm sorry, it takes so much strength and
humbleness to submit. In order to submit, you need to feel safe, secure, protected, love, and believe in the vision of the person you are submitting to.
That is how you work. Let me tell you.
Word.
If you respect,
Word,
see,
Word, TJ.
my wife,
word.
my wife, about the smallest things that I don't want that to disturb me. She will disturb me. Say, what do you think? If I was a laggard who has no contribution, she will go and carry it out. So can we emphasize on men growing and developing themselves?
How are we going to enforce? That's it.
So those are the things preachers should be teaching.
Yeah, but the preachers don't know.
That's what they should be teaching.
Yeah, but they
Because
don't know.
all this,
I mean,
because
some of them have like men's conferences and
yeah, but what
things
are they
like that.
teaching at these conferences? What are they teaching
I think that
at these conferences?
because I hear some of these things and they are cultural.
it's
They're-
culture.
And you know when it's cultural, because it's something you are used to, it will sound nice.
Mm.
Will not
You
listen to
sound right.
scriptures.
Mm.
It's not. Can we allow everyone grow? You see, if we know what can come out of a family, as in, you see, many of these things is we can narrow it down to smallness of mind and poverty.
Yeah.
Because what time do you? I mean, if we are together shaking the world, why would I? If you say, hey, she's submitting, she must cook for. I mean, I want to hire the best chef in the world.
Do you understand what I mean? Well, our minds are in when
I want my wife to come back and say to me, boy, I just bought a hotel.
Let's be flying to we're flying to France.
Just bought a
tonight.
hotel. So I mean, I want to come back. I'm going to buy an icon. Just you see, you cannot see beyond where you're standing, and where a lot of people are standing is very, very low.
Very low.
So you can only speak from where you're standing,
Yeah.
and that is why Africans now know that many of our messages cannot. It can only appeal to the blacks.
Yeah.
It can't appeal to a white audience because that's not their reality.
Yeah.
They've transited many of these, narrow-mindedness and myopic things that we're talking about. And with all the things we are saying, data is showing that our marriages are failing.
So many.
Marriages are failing.
So many.
So can we begin to prioritize growing people properly to be secure and not look down on people you just because you have pennies, now you are head of something. No. Even Jesus taught that headship. He that seeks to be the leader, let him be the servant of.
Yes, he washed the feet of his.
So I can't be. I mean, so my wife looks at me. If we're truly friends, and she says to me, praise, can you and say, oh, so that can you help me clean the kitchen?
Not say.
Or can you help
wash
me?
your plate.
So that please can you clean the kitchen after you? I now feel insulted. And now say she's not respectful. Excuse me, she said English. Let's even say Yoruba. Okay, so that me because it's not a kitchen,
Yes,
it's our house.
kitchen.
So
So I'm just want to ask a quick question. So if in the situation whereby
Oh my
you
God.
hire a maid for her, well, I mean for the house.
For the house,
not
it's coming
her,
for her.
sorry. You hire a maid for the house. Do you then sit down and think that I've done my part? That is an extension of me doing my part to the house. So with that, I don't need to do anything.
what is your role in the house? Your role is nation building. You are building a nation. So if you are saying, I'm the president.
It's always because we're in Nigeria, in Africa, we say
You
you
can
can hire help.
Many of them are where we are here. You have my driver. Go and all the people that have drivers in Nigeria, they having drivers abroad now. It's our culture has perpetuated mediocrity.
Do you understand? I want 7.5. To that give them his.
It is perpetuated. So people don't even know what they don't know that there's a life elsewhere
Yeah.
that is better than where they are. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they now build scripture around that and forget that this thing came out of Israel. Israel, they don't behave that way.
Yeah.
So we need to
And
get.
it was for a certain people
Yeah.
at a certain
So
time.
we need to get to that point. Can we grow great people?
Yeah.
Can we? Because a lot of our men are becoming very small that they can no longer handle.
They can no longer handle.
And that's why they're beating their wives
I'm
because
wondering-
it's now power. That's like the only
See,
thing
the only
they have
woman I
left.
can't handle is a badly behaved woman. And she
Yeah,
must
but what
be
does that mean?
no badly behaved will mean it will be evident to even ladies that this one is badly behaved. Because if you have no respect for humanity, you will talk to people anyhow.
Yeah, but
So
that's also come from somewhere.
That is it.
That's
Some things
also
are
come from
fundamental
somewhere.
home training issue.
Yeah.
I went for a meeting today, and I was there 30 minutes before time. And someone was having a conversation with me. I said, because that was the way my father raised me. My father said, it's better for you to be waiting for them than for them to be waiting for you. It's arrogant for them to be waiting for you. That's how I was raised. So some things are fundamental. How to talk to people, how to relate with people, how to show empathy. Those are fundamental home training issues. Do you understand?
Yeah,
That should have been taught.
Yeah, but when you say you get somewhere 30 minutes before, it's not a fundamental.
No.
Training.
That's where I was. That was punctuality.
Yeah,
is the soul of business.
Part of punctuality
it's home training
and manners.
Look at your mother. Look at your grandmother.
It's home training for us. My father never goes late, so where am I going to get it from?
Yeah.
So I mean that was where he raised me. Why would you even go late for except something is, and if you have left your house on time, someday it rained here and they came late. So I told them that when I was in paid employment, it rained cats and dog in Lagos. Right, I knew there wasn't going to be buses. I took my office wear, put it in a nylon bag, started walking from my house till I got a bike that took me close to my office. I got to my office 7:30 a.m. The next person that came after me came 10:30. In their mind, they had an excuse, but the voice of my dad was ringing in my ear. Do you understand? So can we, because we are not focusing on properly bringing people up.
That's the next thing.
Because let me tell you, cannot say. So I see people say, and I'm nice to my husband. You see, you can't, if you have respect, you will accord that respect to people, no matter who they are. If you don't have respect, many people are respecters of persons. They don't have respect.
It's conditional.
Yeah.
It's
you see someone who is badly dressed, you talk them down. You see in fact, a lot of people, a friend asked on social media last week, Kinsley said, he doesn't understand the system that will make someone beat the house help, maltreat the house help all through the night. Now in the following morning, and now raise the what God cannot do does not exist. That he doesn't understand.
Like what God cannot do.
That he doesn't understand that software that people use to be that wicked. Yes, raise holy hand. I said it's a special grace.
Yeah, it is.
Do you understand? So though there are people like that, those are not the people we're talking about, right? Because you see, your spouse should make you better. And I love intellectual argument with Tosin most times because she's able to point me to even my children, right? If you are open-minded, you realize that everyone can instruct you. In fact, if you are not open-minded, the richest person that has been naturally graced in the family may be your child. But if you are working with the mentality of
I know more than you,
and because many a time we want to make more money because the person in charge of the economics naturally commands control. So that's why a lot of people feel less than who they are once they don't have money. I don't want to control anybody. I'm not here to handle money. Do you understand? So what we need to be emphasizing is, can people outgrow their culture that is not paying them and grow into humanity?
I think that's what
where you are able to relate with a lady. And you are able to get into proper argument and you don't feel insulted.
Or feel like, why would you speak to me that
Why
way?
would she speak to me that
way?
way?
And also the woman as well.
Yes.
Because we're all fighting against each other.
Yes.
And that's what I was saying to her today. I said, look, if we can promote humanity, all this, but why should a man be there? And then the woman is angry. And then the woman says, why should I? And then the man is angry. It's becoming too overstretched.
We need, you see,
there has to be humanity.
We need ourselves. We are better together than apart.
Yeah, so can we agree that, okay, when I'm hurt, can I share it with you? And when you're hurt, can you share it with me? But can we even go past there?
Friendship is what we need to promote.
Yes.
I think so.
Because if you are my friend, I'm not jealous of you.
I will give excuses for you.
I will be there for you.
Yeah.
And when I don't like what you're doing, I'll tell you. I don't like fuck up.
Yes.
Then we continue.
Yeah.
That's friendship.
Yeah.
That's what we lack.
Yeah.
Because I don't think two people who are friends can get married and they are bothered about who should do the cooking,
has more money,
who should have more money.
Yeah.
They are not friends.
Yeah.
If they are friends, those things will not even up for.
Yeah.
That we are teaching it is proof that we are not even understanding
it.
We don't understand the fundamental.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
To say my friend cannot, there's no My friend can ask questions anyhow, and I don't consider it rude
Yeah.
because it's my friend.
Yeah.
How else will she ask?
Yeah.
Praise, why is your house this scattered?
Yeah. Why didn't you brush your hair?
Will I say, will she say, Praise, I want to say something, I don't want you to get upset, promise me you won't get upset. Excuse me, that's not my friend. If you are my friend, why didn't you brush your hair? I don't even have to like it. That's what friendship is all about. Your friends are the one that can give you feedback.
Yeah.
Right? So if you are not ready to take feedback, then you're not ready to get married.
Yeah.
Then go and marry someone who cannot talk, who cannot hear.
Yeah.
Or someone
dumb.
deaf and dumb are even very competent. Go to the village and pick someone who is like that, and they exist.
Are you sure?
They exist.
They only exist because they don't know how to communicate.
There are
the
people,
moment they can communicate with you.
Some people, some people have been. I'm sure you have seen Coming to America now.
Yeah.
That lady was scripted to say what do you like? Whatever you like.
But that's why it was in a film, my brother.
Well, it exists in some
See,
villages.
woman laju.
Anywho, we have crossed into other borders of the conversation because we're still going to get into this whole man-woman definition, wife-husband definition. We're going to dissect submission.
Let everyone become the best version of themselves. That's
the bottom line. That's the bottom line. We need to be honest with ourselves. We need to be truthful to ourselves. We need to give ourselves space, like you said, to breathe. Of course, depending
let
on
me be me, and let's
depending
enjoy
on
each other when we're
how
together.
your relationship ended, or what you had to face or whatnot. Give yourself time to heal and find help. Find the right help to help you heal.
Because the truth is, you cannot get the same ingredient that got you into something cannot take you out.
Yeah, but
so all that, give yourself time to heal. You don't. What if you don't even know the right process to use to heal?
That's what I'm saying. Find help.
Find help.
Find help, but find the right help.
If it is all the things you're doing is what is making your marriage work, please continue.
Stick to it. Yeah.
Don't change for anyone.
Stick
Okay.
to it. Yeah.
I think we'll see again next week. I mean, this time runs so fast.
Are you sure we shouldn't move this thing to
No, you don't move it to anything.
1 hour is fine.
1 hour is just enough. Just enough.
So that the day CNN come first, we would have been used to the
1 hour.
Selflessness,
reflective attitude, and self-awareness is what makes a successful marriage.
I mean, like 4 fingers. You're just fitting nothing.
Dropping it, man.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.